Hey everybody, Mr. JK here, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a brand new reaction video to a Fat Electrician video, which I haven't done in a long time. This is one of his more recent videos. This is how a chicken farmer in Inflatable tanks won World War II. Agent Garbo in the Ghost Army. So yeah, welcome back. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of you who've been waiting on a Fat Electrician video for like a long time, and I haven't gotten to it.
Well, duh.
Anyways, we're effectively going back to form for a little bit. Yeah, so this is a 33 minute and 55-second video, so expect like a little editing thing, or light editing, or no editing, depending on like if I got the energy left to do it. So anyways, let's get started in 3, 2,
Oh yes,
1.
the Spanish.
Voy a la playa, ya subió la marea. Eso.
Let's get started in 3, 2, 1.
Oh yes, the Spanish chicken farmer that trolled the Germans so hard that at most he is responsible for the Allies winning World War II, and at the very least he is
Oh yeah, link to the video will be down in the description below.
responsible for World War II ending years in advance and saving hundreds of thousands of lives in the process. I cannot stress to you enough, I am not exaggerating.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Today we're talking about Agent Garbo, aka
For the amount of videos I've seen of crazy war stories, this is not unheard of.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
Spanish chicken farmer and a bunch of art majors with inflatable tanks, and how they became one of the most important, critical, deciding factors of all of World War II. They are quite literally the reason that D-Day worked. Okay, here's the deal. They
Interesting. Okay, well, let's see where this goes then, Mr. Fat Electrician. Show me what you got.
don't teach you this in school, and you're not going to pick it up by watching Saving Private Ryan, but D-Day, the storming of the beach at Normandy, strategically speaking, on paper, was a horrible plan. Like, literally the worst plan available, okay? When you're trying to move in hundreds of thousands of troops, tanks, trucks, equipment, artillery, you want the biggest beach available. Normandy,
Of course.
not the biggest beach available. More importantly, you want a harbor. You want somewhere for all your ships to be able to drop off all the troops and supplies. Guess what Normandy doesn't have?
We're waiting.
Any of those things, and it doesn't surprise me in one bit that Normandy was a fuck fest, given the amount of people that died that day on that beach. So I didn't know the full details, but yeah, like now that I think about it, well, I'm no war expert, but like, yeah, I would assume that was effectively a go for broke plan more than anything else.
A harbor. And if that wasn't bad enough, half the beaches are covered in cliffs. Why are cliffs bad? Well, because the enemy's on
I have the high ground, and what do we know about the high ground?
Larry, you can't just... Larry, oh, you all right? Larry!
top of the cliff, meaning the enemy has the high ground, and they're going to be shooting at you while you're trying to be a rock climber. And then, if you make it to the top of the cliff, now your back is up against a cliff, and you have nowhere to fall back to. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. Well, that does sound like a bad idea, but because it's a bad idea, the enemy's not going to be expecting it, and you're going to be doing what the enemy isn't expecting, which is going to give you an edge. Most of the time, yes, but in this case, no, absolutely not. Why? Well, because the two most likely places for the Allied forces to launch a major invasion were Calais and Schoenberg. They both had ports, they both had big beaches, they were the perfect locations to launch a massive offensive. And Normandy is right in between the two, meaning that
Yep, that makes sense.
Germany has a ton of soldiers both in Schoenberg and in Calais, and it's not going to take them long to send their troops to Normandy to reinforce it and crush the entire offensive. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you that the beaches of Normandy are quite literally the meat and cheese of an ass-whooping sandwich, and the plan should not have worked. And the only
With that in mind, it really shouldn't have worked.
reason that it did was because of a chicken farmer and a bunch of theater kids, and we're going to get into it right
Yeah,
after
speaking of
our
chicken
sponsor.
farmer.
This video is brought to you by Sundays. It's food for dogs. Isn't that right, Mushu?
If you want to skip ahead, you can. I'll probably put the timestamps here, but I'm still going to react to the things because out of respect.
All right. Okay. Calm down. Anyways, Sundays for Dogs is dog food that's made with a bunch of human ingredients like, actual meat and not, ground up cartilage and pig dicks. The food actually looks different. Like, it actually looks like beef jerky. It doesn't smell like a bunch of dehydrated dog food. It's air dried. It's made here in America. Mushu loves it, and it's pretty much the only thing he'll eat now. It's like all the other fancy dog food.
Of course, with the name say, you got to use the character he's based off of,
With none of the
or his name comes from.
downsides, right? You don't have to open a can every time you go to feed your dog. You don't have to stick this shit inside your refrigerator, and you can get it as a subscription service, so it just keeps showing up to your house, because at least for me, every time I had dog food on my grocery shopping list, I would always forget, then I had to make a trip just for dog food. So it's nice to have it just show up at the house. So if you want to give Sundays a try, I'm gonna have a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video.
No, it's Mr. My Cabbages.
Our story begins in 1912 in Barcelona, Spain, when Juan Pujol Garcia is born. He grows up as the son of a farmer in the early 1900s. When he turns 18 years old, Spain at this point in time has mandatory military service. He goes off, he serves in the military for 6 months, hates it the entire time. He just wants to go back home and raise chickens. So he finishes up his military service, goes back home, has his own little poultry farm, and he's just living life for a couple of years. And
that makes complete sense. Like you've been through hell for a bit. I'm like, okay, I just want to relax now.
then when he's 24 in 1936, Spain is thrust into civil war.
Oh.
Oh, my cabbages!
Oh.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Now, I'm oversimplifying this, but essentially the Spanish Civil War
I think I see where this is going.
had two factions. You had the Republic, which were fascists,
Okay.
and then you had a socialist revolution. Okay, so you've got
Extreme left, extreme right. Okay.
extreme left-wing ideology, and you've got extreme
Yep,
right-wing
I thought so.
ideology, both of which are renowned for not getting along with one another. And
Oh,
Juan doesn't
no.
care. He hated being in the military. He doesn't want to be involved. He literally just wants to be left alone to raise his chickens and live life. But that's not really how civil wars work. So what ends up happening is the socialists determine that his mother and his sister are not sympathetic to the socialist revolution,
Oh,
and
God.
they throw them in prison. Shortly after that, Juan is conscripted to fight in the socialist military.
Oh,
You know,
my
the
God.
same people
Oh,
that
no.
just arrested his mother and sister, so obviously not a big fan.
Bro, fuck off. Leave him alone, man.
And he refuses to do it.
Believe it or not, jail right away.
From here, he's in jail for a little while. Then he ends up getting broken out of jail by a bunch of counter-revolutionaries that help give him a fake ID that says he's old enough to not have to get drafted. From here, Juan is like, perfect, okay, great. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna raise my chickens. I'm gonna mind my own business. I'm just gonna live my life the way I want to. He goes back home to his farm, finds out that the socialist revolution has seized his farm for the war effort, and basically tell him to fuck off. It's their farm now. You can't.
Oh my God. And I wonder why I hate socialism so much.
Can't have it back.
Fuck off.
And as I'm sure you can imagine, if Juan didn't already hate socialism, he sure as
He
shit
really does
does
now.
now. So he decides that he's going to go and help the team that's fighting against the socialists. The problem is he can't really get to the front lines to join that side. So he ends up joining the Socialist Revolutionary Army, volunteering to run communication lines on the front line. And then as soon as he gets close enough to the enemy line, he literally just takes off running, goes to the enemy side, and is like defecting to join their military instead. To which the Republic, the fascist regime that he's trying to join, is more than happy to accept him and let him fight against the socialists. No, I'm just kidding. They don't believe him. They think he's a spy, so they beat the shit out of him, and then they throw him in jail.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
At this point, Juan realizes both of these guys are assholes. He doesn't want to be involved in any of this. He just wants to go home and raise his chickens.
Man, he's just the everyday Joe, man.
From here,
Like, just all this bullshit that's going on in America with right versus left. It's like, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I just want to mind my own business. I don't care about what side fights who. Leave me alone.
the Spanish Civil War ends in April of 1939. A couple of months after that, in September of 1939, World War II kicks off. To which Juan looks at the sides that are fighting. You know, you've got the UK doing their monarchy, democracy type stuff. Then you've got the USSR doing communism, which is just extreme socialism.
Yep.
Not really a fan of that. And then you've got Germany, ran by the Nazis, which quite literally stands for the National Socialist German Workers' Party.
Don't like that.
Okay, nationalist,
Yeah.
not necessarily synonymous with fascism, but it is one of the cornerstones, followed by the word socialism and German Workers' Party, okay? It's literally everything he hates wrapped up in one big ball of white supremacy. So
just a general history question, but how come Nazis is spelled with, or Yazis is spelled with N-A-Z-I instead of just N-S-Z-I? Or N-S-W-P.
Juan decides, fuck those guys, I'm gonna do everything I can to fight them.
You're gonna pay for this!
So he goes to Madrid to the British embassy and volunteers to be a spy. The British are like, dude, you're a chicken farmer in a neutral country. You provide absolutely no value to us. Kick rocks, we don't want your help. Go away.
Come on, really? You're gonna turn away a helping hand? Like, you have to, like, bro.
Point Juan realizes that telling the truth isn't working, so he's gonna start lying. He goes, pays off some dude that runs a printing press to make him what appears to be a fake diplomatic passport like a politician would have that would grant him access in Great Britain. He then takes his counterfeit politician passport, goes to the German embassy in Madrid and says, hey, I'm a Spanish politician. I just got orders that I'm going to be stationed in London for the next couple of years. I'm sympathetic to the Nazi cause. I want to be a spy for you guys.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Oh, let the trolling commence.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
And apparently the counterfeit passport was good enough because the Germans believed him. From here, the Germans give him training on how to secretly communicate with them like a spy would. Basically, he's going to write a normal letter in Spanish like he's mailing it off to a friend, just talking about daily life or whatever random bullshit. And then in between the lines of the letter, he's going to use invisible ink and ciphers given to him by the German to convey secret intel, and then he's going to mail it to a particular address. From here, the Germans give him a bunch of invisible ink, the address he needs to mail the letters to. They give him 600 pounds to buy whatever spy equipment he needs, and then they give him a list of intel that they're looking for. Presumably, this is like the test to make sure that this guy's legit. If he can go and get this intel that we already know and show that it's accurate, he's going to prove to be a reliable spy. It's a bunch of questions like, what is the makeup of the Strategic Bombing Command of the UK? Where is this factory? What do they produce there? Yada, yada, yada. A bunch of shit they already know. But if he can figure all this out and then give them the correct information and they can verify it's correct, then he can probably go out and find information that they don't have that would actually be valuable to them. Then they give him the code name Alaric and send him on his way, and as far as the Germans are concerned, he is headed off to London. The real problem, Juan can't get to London. He doesn't actually have a diplomatic passport. He has no viable reason for being there, and while the counterfeit passport worked on the Germans, it's not going to work on the British because it's their passport. They're going to know what a counterfeit looks like.
I'm going to need to see some identification.
Really? Makes me feel young again.
So Juan decides he's going to get as close as he can, which is Lisbon in Portugal. So he heads off to Lisbon, gets a job working at the public library, and then uses his position at the library to get up-to-date newspapers, encyclopedias, military textbooks, and figures out...
Bro, libraries for the win. Libraries for the win. That is a big brain move. I was wondering, like, how the hell is he going to be able to, like, do all that, and he's not there in like library? Oh, that makes so much sense now.
Out the answers to all of the questions that the Germans had and sends off a letter verifying that he's a reputable spy. And of course, he gets all the answers correct or correct enough, and the Germans believe him, so now he's a reputable spy in the eyes of the Nazis. He then goes a step further and...
the library is this man's base, oh no!
Uses up-to-date British newspapers to find rental listings and picks out an apartment for, you know, however much it costs a month and tells the Germans, hey, I'm living here renting this apartment, and the Germans start paying his rent for him even though he's not even living there.
What?
Bro, and he's getting paid for it. That's too fucking good, bro.
Idiot. Oh, what a loser. Good.
From here, the Germans want him to build out an entire spy network, basically covering all of England. They want spies outside of military installations to track troop movements. They want spies at all the major ports and harbors tracking shipping movements. They want spies all over England. Problem, Juan isn't even in England. He's still in Portugal working at a library, so he just starts making shit up. He starts writing the Germans, coming up with all these elaborate lies of all the new agents that he's acquired that are completely fictional. He's like, yeah, I've got, you know, Agent Gimbal who lives in Liverpool. He's a
with the hit of anxiety,
and he's going to keep an eye on the harbor for us. I've got Agent Carvel, and he's of German descent. He lives in Wales. He's going to be tracking shipping movements over there, and he just does it and keeps building out this massive fake spy network that doesn't even exist. And then he convinces the Germans all of his spies need to get paid, so he's getting the wages of all of the spies in his network that don't even exist.
And I make nothing. Zero. Zilch.
Bro.
Time I pay all my scientists and my research department lab coats, it's a wash.
So from here, as far as the Germans are concerned, he's basically worked
Sorry,
himself
my lights
into
are dying.
like mid-level management of this spy network, and he's not actually doing any spying himself. He's just managing the 20 other spies and relaying all the intel. Now, Juan realizes...
Sorry, give me a sec.
A few moments later.
Sorry, just ignore the lights.
This as well, and he realizes the beauty of it because now he can just start telling the Germans ridiculous shit that he pulls out of his ass, and if he gets called out on it, he can just blame it on the spy below him that doesn't actually exist, right? Like, if he comes up with some crazy story to get the Germans to do something stupid, it's not falling back on Agent Alaric, it's falling back on Agent Gimbal or whoever gave him.
And at this point in time, man, keep in mind, this man's doing this out of spite for the Nazis. He doesn't even care that he doesn't care about Britain. It's just an afterthought. It's like, hey, either way, I'm good right now.
The faulty intel, and then they can fire that guy and he gets to keep his job. From here, he just starts lying. He just feeds the Germans lines of bullshit that's completely made up out of his own head while he's sitting at a public library in Portugal. For example, he's just like, okay, what would the British maybe be up to that would interest the Germans? Like, oh, aircraft carriers are a big deal in World War II. Yeah, the British are designing some super massive mega aircraft carrier and they're testing it on, let me check my encyclopedia at the library, the biggest lake in Britain, Lake Windermere. Yeah, they're testing the new super carrier on Lake Windermere. Sends that off to the Germans. Just complete made up bullshit. So he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to throw a Hail Mary. I'm going to start actually being disruptive to the Germans. I'm going to start physically impacting the outcome of this war. He tells the Germans that his spy up in Liverpool spotted a massive British naval convoy and they're setting off.
But bro, this is like, forget that. Like, this is, you know what? This is the origin story of prank phone calls. This is the origin story of prank phone calls.
Gonna sail along the coastline, go through Gibraltar, and resupply all the Allied troops in Malta, and it's gonna be a big deal. So the Germans are freaking out. They're like, holy shit, we're gonna go take out this massive convoy with our warships and our submarines, and it's gonna be a huge win.
And there's nothing there.
Hooray. Obviously, the convoy doesn't actually exist, but the Germans send out a massive naval detachment to go look for it for like weeks, and they never find shit. Now he's having a real effect on the outcome of World War II. He's having thousands of German naval personnel on warships go out, wasting their time, burning through fuel, using up their assets. That naval detachment could be out there attacking somebody else, and he's just wasting their time. He's having a real tangible effect on the outcome of World War II. And while this is going on, unbeknownst to him, British intelligence, MI6,
I imagine somebody would have picked up on this,
has developed the Ultra Machine, which is like a predecessor to the computer. It's a gigantic...
Yeah, look at this thing. I don't even freaking know, like, dials and bullshit is, like, in this thing.
Calculator, and they're using it to break encrypted Nazi radio traffic.
Really?
And when a massive naval detachment goes out on a convoy, there's going to be some radio traffic about it, and they're intercepting all this radio traffic where the Germans are looking for a massive British supply convoy to go take it out, and the British are like, what the fuck are they talking about? There's no convoy. Why do they think that we have a massive convoy going on? So they think that the Germans have a spy out there somewhere and launch a massive manhunt looking for this German spy. And obviously, they're looking for him in London around Liverpool.
Yeah,
because that's where
but he's not there.
To have that intel or that mistaken intel or to get that false impression, and they never find him because he's in Lisbon, in Portugal, at a public library, fucking with the Nazis.
Fucking love Arthur.
A couple of months go by, it's
Garbo.
like mid-1942. He's been messing with the Germans for about a year now. So he decides that he's gonna go to the British embassy in Lisbon and tell them like, hey, here's all this intel. The Germans trust me. I wanna be a double agent spy for you guys. The British, super skeptical, start vetting the guy, and they see that he was the one responsible for the convoy fiasco, and they're like, holy shit, we found the guy. He's not in
we found him, boys.
the UK, he's over in Lisbon. Oh, fuck. So he immediately gets hired. They give him the code name Garbo, referring to a famous actress at the time that was renowned as
Greta
the
Garbo.
best actress in the world. But
Swedish-American
he's
actress.
the best actor in the world because he's leading the Germans on this wild goose chase. So they move him over to Britain, and he is working out of MI6 headquarters. From here, because now he has real British intel, the lies get more strategic, more accurate, but
more like slightly accurate, but not enough to like
not in a helpful way, but the Germans don't realize that. So he's gaining more and more trust with the Germans because his quality of intel continues to go up. But then he almost gets caught being a double spy because the Germans found out that there was a massive naval convoy that just left Liverpool that Garbo didn't report on. So they go back to Garbo and they're like, hey, we know you have a spy in the area whose whole job is to look.
Is he gonna blame one of the agents, fake agents that he credited
over this harbor? Why didn't you report this to us so we could do something about it? To which Garbo was like, yeah, that guy, he died, actually. Yeah, no, he was in the hospital sick for a couple of weeks, and he's dead now. And then had the British take all of the, you know, the fictional story, because the Germans knew the guy's name and his code name and his descent and all these fucking fictional details that he had created, and had the British put an obituary in the British newspaper.
Bro, the lies are now being manifested in some way.
For this fictional man, and then he sent them the obituary. To which the Germans sent their condolences and severance pay for his widow.
Damn you, Roger.
Could you imagine having to play poker against this guy? He's the greatest.
Bro, this man's poker face has to be insane.
Bullshitter of all time. Like if this were a video game, he put all of his
stats in fucking charisma,
skill points in charisma, because the Germans
just like, no, not even just in charisma. No, he put all his stat. You know, he put all 5 points or allocated points from his fucking character sheet, put it all in charisma, and then bumped up his fucking deception skill check.
Just seem to believe every line of bullshit that comes out of his mouth. Dude literally got this close to getting caught as a double agent and somehow manages to pull out a huge sum of money and get paid for it while also still being considered a reliable source. Don't worry, it gets even better. In November of 1942, the Allies launched Operation Torch, which was like the big advance into North Africa. Massive naval operation, huge offensive. It would be a big deal if the Germans found out and knew about this plan, right? So what they do is they don't report on it. But the Germans are going to wonder, hey, why didn't you fucking report on this? Because we know you have spies. We can't say another guy died of illness in the hospital. What are we going to do? So Garbo comes up with a plan. He's going to write extremely detailed, 100% accurate, like how many ships are leaving the port, where are they going, when are they going to get there, when's the attack, the whole 9 yards, writes it all up, has the British government post stamp it like a week before the attack so they have time to do something about it, but then just hangs on to the letter until the day the attack happens and then mails it off. So the British get 100% information that would have a huge impact on the battle, but they get it too late. And from the German perspective, after they're reading this,
that is a smart move.
Letter, they're like, holy shit, this is exactly what happened. This would have been gold if we would have gotten it on time, but this letter got delayed in the wartime mail. They were so pleased with the level of intel because the mail being slow isn't Garbo's fault, and he did a great job. So they give him a huge bonus and then give a 50% pay bump to the 20+ person spy network that doesn't even fucking exist.
Bro, it's just getting no, isn't that fucking money?
And then they're like, Alaric, Garbo, same guy, is too valuable of an asset. His intel is worth so much, we can't afford to have him being delayed in the wartime post. So they arranged for him to get German radio equipment, an up-to-date Enigma machine with up-to-date ciphers, and he has everything to communicate with the Germans directly.
Boyd, may I have the COS, please?
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm so happy! I'm so happy! This is the best day of my life!
So now,
Oh my god. Okay, unironically, I actually like that movie, Get Smart.
every time the Germans change the Enigma code in the Enigma machine, they don't need to crack it and develop the new cipher. They literally send the new cipher to their spy that's actually working for the British.
Okay.
Alaric, aka Garbo, aka a fucking chicken farmer from Spain, is now the
Yeah, just like from where he was as a person who just got off of a war, started trying to raise his chickens, and then only to get all that happened to him up to now, man. Just imagine that.
most trusted, high-value
Man, what a life.
spy that the Germans have from their perspective. And because of that, the Allies have him work on the most important deception mission of World War II,
Okay.
Operation Fortitude.
The Ghost Army.
All right, Operation Fortitude. It is basically one gigantic psyop. It is the miscommunication campaign to set the stage for D-Day. Now, D-Day in that of itself is pretty controversial. The British did not want to do D-Day. It's a big, risky move, having this massive amphibious landing. It could draw out the war for years or lose the war entirely if it fails. So the British wanted to take the
Go for broke.
conservative route of
And it worked.
going through North Africa, taking over Italy, and then pushing into the rest of Europe. Okay, nothing wrong with that. That's a good plan. However, it's going to make the war last longer, and the longer war lasts, the more resources you have to use, the more people are going to die, and most importantly, America's got to wrap this shit up because we've got another war scheduled with Korea in like 7 years, so we gotta get this ball rolling. Okay, on top of that, the Soviets
I mean, they don't even know that yet, but yeah, this is yes.
are getting absolutely massacred on the Eastern Front, and if the Germans take over there, they're going to have access to all the Soviet resources, and the Germans are going to get even stronger, or potentially even worse, if somehow the Soviets pull it out of their ass and they win and they invade, they're going to take over all of Europe, and I don't fucking like the communists either, so we're not going to have either of those options. We got to get in there, fuck shit up, and leave. Okay, General Eisenhower's the Supreme Allied Commander. He's the one running the show, and he's an American, and America says we're doing D-Day. Guess what? We're doing D-Day. Now, obviously, I'm paraphrasing to a disgusting degree, but this is more or less how the conversation goes. Fuck, fine, we'll do the D-Day massive amphibious landing thing. Where do you want to do it? The most obvious place is going to be Calais.
You know what will make this moment even better? Because I see what he's about to do here. It'd be awesome if he had habitual line crosser doing this moment. This would have been even funnier, but like they probably have like a whole scheduling issue. They like probably different time zones and stuff like that. But it would have been awesome if that was the case. And well, then he had the title of the video featuring habitual line crosser.
It's right across the Strait of Dover. That's named after a guy named Ben, right? What? Nothing, sorry.
Why? you
Please continue. Okay, the upside of Calais is it's got a harbor. We can land a bunch of troops there. It'd be a good access point. The problem is the Germans have fortified the ever-living fuck out of it and have a ton of soldiers there because it's the most obvious place that we're going to invade. All right, so we won't go there. What else you got? Well, there's Schorenberg, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's the next obvious place, so the Germans have fortified it. All right, what else you got? Well, I guess the Germans probably wouldn't be expecting Normandy, but there's no harbor and it's covered in cliffs. That's perfect. We're storming the beaches of Normandy. I mean, okay, what about the cliffs? No problem. We'll teach all the boys how to rock climb. We'll have boats that shoot
I know, but
rocket
from the one of its other previous videos, what they were talking about, I forgot what the group name was, but they were doing that whole
hooks
thing.
up the cliff, and then we'll have boats with
with ladders,
ladders that go up with machine guns on top and mow down the enemy while the boys are rock climbing. Okay, well, there's a lot of like rivers and ravines and creeks and stuff in that area. What if the Germans blow up the bridges and then our tanks get caught up in these little ravines and they can't cross? We'll build bridges, we'll strap them to tanks, and we'll bring the bridges with us.
Okay, I did not know about that. Bro.
Okay, humor me. Let's just assume all of that works. What about the lack of a harbor? Don't worry about that. We'll make one back home in America and bring it with us.
Of course. We America, we just be building shit.
I'm sorry, I think you misheard what I said. I said harbor, you know, like the terrain feature. Yeah, motherfucker, did I stutter? We'll build one and bring it with us. I'm sorry, just so we're on the same page. You're gonna build a terrain feature in America and bring it with you to the invasion. Yes, it's not that
Yes. Well, yeah. Why not?
complicated. We're going to call it a Mulberry Harbor. It's going to work great. Okay, if you think that's impressive, we're building a portable star to give to Japan later. Just trust me, we're going to figure it out. Okay, I guess, what do you need from us? Well, you and the boys over at MI6 got the best spy network in the world. I need you to convince the Germans that we are in fact going to attack exactly where they think we're going to attack, over in Calais, to take a bunch of pressure off of Normandy so we have time to get in there and invade. Okay, I mean, we can fake radio traffic and give them false intel, but they're going to have aerial reconnaissance in the area and they're going to see that we're not building up a massive army to invade, and they're going to know that we're lying. Okay, so we'll put a massive army there. Yeah, problem, we only have one massive army, so if we put it right across the Strait of Dover from Ben, joke now. Ha! Yeah, anyways, if we put the massive army right across the Strait of Calais, how on earth are we going to put the massive army where we need it, over in Normandy, to actually invade? We're going to fake it, obviously. Okay, here's the deal. I've got like 1,100. Yeah,
like what are we, we're like, look, we got these kids that are working in theater. We're going to make some props and shit, and then we're going to like fake an army.
Artsy.
It's that simple, man.
Artsy theater kid art majors that I don't really know what to do with. We're going to put them in charge of this, and they're going to build a fake ghost army that's going to imitate a massive invasion force. So I need you guys to start building fake wooden planes and fake wooden landing ships. I'm going to call the people that make the Macy's Day Parade floats. I'm going to have them make us like 1,000 inflatable.
If that's actually true, that's fucking insane.
Inflatable tanks, a bunch of inflatable trucks, and a bunch of inflatable artillery
Macy's
pieces.
Day Parade.
And we'll start staging up for a massive invasion. And that's pretty much what happened. America sets about creating a ghost army that's ran by 1,100 art majors known as the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops.
Of course.
And they are sent over right across the Strait of Dover to,
of course, they would get their own special name.
Set up this massive fake army. They start setting everything up and staging it so aerial reconnaissance sees it. And while that's going on, Garbo and the rest of the MI6 spy network is sending fake intel to the German high command, being like, hey, we just had 15,000 new troops come in. We just had a bunch of tanks come in. They're setting up. They're going to invade Calais. They brought in more troops. Oh, now there's even more. They've got 150,000 men ready to invade Calais. And then somebody got a really good idea to sell this to the Germans. You see, a couple of months prior in 1943, Patton got in a ton of trouble and got basically yanked out of World War II because he was in an aid station and there was a couple of soldiers with shell shock, basically severe crippling PTSD. And hard-ass General Patton was under the impression that these guys were faking it so they didn't have to go off and fight in the war, so he decided to beat a couple of them up. It really pissed off the American people. Eisenhower was furious, so he ends up getting yanked out of World War II. But the Germans never actually believed that America was going to pull their best fighting general out of World War II because he roughed up a couple of privates. So they've been thinking the entire time that Patton is off somewhere on some covert
where he's not. Okay.
Mission, building up an invasion force, getting ready to attack. So they bring Patton in as bait. They start calling this massive fake army FUSAG, or First Army Group. And
hold up.
They bring Patton in as bait. They start calling this massive fake army FUSAG.
Why does homie slightly look like Donald Trump?
Or First
like, is that just me? Is that just me? Or he looks like Donald Trump a little bit.
Army Group, and they've got Patton parading around getting his picture taken. He's in newspapers. The Germans are obviously monitoring that. Then they've got Garbo, their most trusted spy, relaying the info that Patton's here. He's the one leading this massive army, and the Germans buy it. Hook, line, and sinker.
This is just too easy.
So the Germans are like, if America's sending their best
freaking love Transformers
general to attack Calais, we're gonna send our best general. They send Erwin Rommel up there with like 150 to 200,000 soldiers, 19 infantry divisions, and 2 armored divisions all now in Calais waiting for Patton to come. This is it. This is gonna be the epic showdown between General Patton and Erwin Rommel, the two
except it's kind of not
most well-known generals of World War II. Except it's not. It's all bullshit.
Yep. D-Day.
Okay, in the days leading up to D-Day, Garbo and MI6 really set the stage. They tell them, like, the day before D-Day that a bunch of more troops just showed up, and it's going to be 2 weeks at the earliest that America's going to launch this attack. So, if there's anything that happens before then, it's obviously going to be a diversion to try to get you to take some of your troops out of Calais to soften up the target for Patton. Because of this, Erwin Rommel, on June 5th, aka the day before D-Day, is like, sweet, I've got some time to kill. Tomorrow, June 6th, again, D-Day, is my wife's birthday, so I'm going to go back home to Germany so I can play hide the bratwurst and celebrate. So Erwin Rommel leaves D-Day happens, he's in Germany. He's not even in France. So while the birthday girl's laying on the bed pretending her feet hate each other, 156,000 Allied troops hit the beaches of Normandy. And because the Germans are convinced that America's gonna attack at Calais, there's only like 20 to 25,000 Germans defending the beaches of Normandy. So the plan is working. Rommel hears that there's an invasion that gets launched. He makes a beeline back to his headquarters right outside of Paris, France. He doesn't actually get there until June 7th, D-Day +1. He immediately does the worst thing possible for the Allied forces. He sends 40,000 infantry troops and an entire armored division from Calais down to Normandy. Okay, this is gonna be absolutely catastrophic to D-Day. That's gonna triple the amount of Germans guarding the beach and add a fuck ton of tanks on top of that. The absolute best case scenario is this adds tens of thousands of Allied forces dying, and the worst case scenario, it means that D-Day is gonna fail as a whole. And it's more than likely gonna be the second
Well, it's a good thing well, we're about to find out, but
one, because if Rommel rolls up with a bunch of tanks, he is going to drive the American forces back into the ocean, and it is going to be Dunkirk 2.0 all over again. And then a chicken farmer from Spain saves the day.
Hell yeah, it's time to bullshit.
Garbo, Alaric, the most trusted German spy, sends a transmission to German high command that the attack at Normandy is a feint, it's a ruse, it's just a distraction, do not pull your men out of Calais. And this makes it all the way into German high command and all the way to Hitler himself, and Hitler signs
this man full fucking Hitler.
off on the order for Rommel to turn his forces around and go back to Calais and wait for Patton.
This man full fucking Hitler.
Timeline we live in today where D-Day was a
bro, an alternative universe didn't work.
Success, and the cherry on top, Hitler then signs off on an order to award Garbo, Alaric, the Iron Cross, which is literally
bro, even got a medal for that shit.
The Nazi equivalent of the Medal of Honor.
Oh, we actually got a lot of those. Yeah, some of the guys use them as paperweights.
Garbo has Hitler so convinced that this attack is coming at Calais that Rommel leaves his forces there for 6 weeks. And by then, it's too late. So the invasion of Normandy works because of Garbo and the Ghost Army, and then after that, the Ghost Army gets deployed into France. And from here, they go full PSYOP mode. They would roll up to wherever a real infantry division was. They would then paint that infantry division's logo on all of their inflatable shit and then have their same patches. And then while that unit moved out, they would pretend to still be that unit in the same spot, so the Germans don't know where an entire division disappeared to, because they
I was like, what's the protocol if you get because I imagine they still gotta like move the inflatable balloons and things around, and they have to be like inside or something like that to be able to move it around. So what's the protocol if those things get shot or popped?
They still think it's right there. And the level they went to make it look like they were legitimately the unit they had replaced was incredible. The Ghost Army had their own Morse code guys, and they were going to be blasting out fake radio transmissions, fake Morse code, fake everything, in addition to all the inflatables and just appearing like a real military.
World's best bullshitters #2. Let's go.
Unit. And with Morse code, you can tell who the operator is. The way that your hand strikes the little keypad is very much like handwriting or your spoken voice. You can identify different people and different operators. So these Ghost Army Morse code operators would go and sit with the real infantry division's Morse code operators and learn their exact handwriting, so to speak, so that they could mimic it perfectly. They had trucks with gigantic loudspeakers that would blast noises of tanks moving, trucks moving, NCOs yelling at soldiers to put that cigarette out, all kinds of shit to make it look like a real military unit was there. They took a bunch of theater majors, actors, and they would send them out into the nearby towns with the patches of whatever unit they were imitating, and they would go into bars and get drunk and have conversations dropping fake intel about where they're going next and what they're doing next, so that German spies would hear about it and relay false information. Every major step the US military had to make, the Ghost Army was there drawing enemy fire the entire time. When Patton finally did return to theater in Operation Cobra, the Ghost Army was there. When US forces crossed the Siegfried Line, the Ghost Army was there drawing enemy fire and German attention location so that they could actually cross at the real location. When Allied forces crossed the Rhine River, the Ghost Army was there pretending to build a bridge 10 miles away from where the real Allied forces were crossing. I keep calling them theater kids and art majors like it's an insult. It's not. These guys have
Yeah, it's anything but at this point.
The biggest balls on the planet.
Yeah, because like imagine like you have to have gotten shot at, right? So you're still like you're putting your life on the line. No, these theater kids ain't today's theater kids, is what I'm saying.
You know what sucks more than going into combat in a tank and having the Germans try to kill you? Going into combat, having the Germans try to kill you like you are.
I was just talking about this.
And you've got a fucking inflatable tank. The Ghost Army is basically the rodeo clowns for the entire U.S. military at this point. The bull rider gets all the glory, but
like they're the fucking bards making a performance check. Which is accurate because sometimes bards are known as are practitioners of theater in lore.
Rodeo clowns are in the ring the entire time saving everybody's ass.
Thank you!
And to make things worse, this is top secret. They can't tell anybody that's not already in the know, so they have to keep the entire thing under wraps, which means they're constantly running into high-ranking officers from the U.S. military that are asking questions, getting mad at them because they don't think they're supposed to be doing what they're doing, and it just causes a whole mess of issues. My favorite story is the Ghost Army was out on a convoy moving.
That's gotta suck to some degree.
Moving to another location, and some general comes up all pissed off because this unit isn't supposed to be in his AO, and he wants to know what the fuck they're up to. And these guys aren't allowed to tell the general what they're doing, so they fucking lie, and they come up with the best lie ever. They literally tell the general, we're just going around making sure all the street signs are the same size. To which the general is like, why the fuck are you doing that? And they're like, I don't know, man. We just got the orders by our chain of command. They told us to go around and make sure all the street signs are dressed right.
You know what's funny? Unironically, my brain just came up with this and like how to like rationalize that. And it's quite simply this is like the general's just making them do random shit just to keep them busy. Like that's where my brain went anyway. I don't know if that's the actual mindset, but I can see how that would be.
Dress so nobody gets lost, which sounds dumb as fuck, but
it really is.
In the military,
it's
the most military thing.
Oh, I was right on the money. Okay, yeah. I was like, well, like I'm not in the military, but if I can justify that, it would be like they probably like from all the videos I learned about like military history and stuff, and especially like I've seen some videos like some military dudes talk about their time in the military. Like if I had to like take an educated guess as to what the mindset would be to make that work, it's probably the person would probably rationalize and like how the fuck. Wait, actually, I can see like the general probably just wanted to keep these dudes busy and like keep these dudes busy just doing something, or it could be like some type of like punishment or something like that.
Thing that would happen, and it 100% would. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you that the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, the Ghost Army, had a tremendous impact on World War II, not just on D-Day, but in the entire European theater.
Without a trace.
So World War II comes to an end. The Ghost Army is essentially sworn to secrecy. Nobody knows that this even happened until the 1990s.
Wow, really? That long?
Awarded the Iron Cross, so they're like, oh shit, we should probably give this guy an award too. So they give him the Order of the British Empire, which is the highest ranking award they can possibly give him. Homie literally got MVP playing for both teams. And the Nazis never even found out that he was a double agent. The British then give him a big lump sum of money as a thank you, and then he's kind of worried that Nazi sympathizers are going to track him down and kill him if they find out that he was a double agent that quite literally preemptively end World War II, if not is responsible for winning the entire thing. So in 1949, he fakes his own death and disappears.
Wow.
But here, everybody thinks he's dead for decades. And then 5 years later, a historian hears that he might be alive somewhere in South America and ends up tracking him down. And he's a teacher that owns a bookstore in Venezuela. So wow. The British bring him back over for the 40th anniversary of D-Day. He gets publicly recognized. He's a hero. He finally gets his moment in the sunshine. He gets to go to Normandy and see where all of the battles unfolded. And then, while overlooking one of the cemeteries at Normandy, he said, and I quote, "I knew I saved tens of thousands of lives, but I don't think I did enough."
Wow. Like, just humble in this moment.
And that is the story of how a chicken farmer from Barcelona and a bunch of theater kids with inflatable tanks helped win World War II. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang, out.
Yeah, that was great.
I've said it once and I will say it again. Don't piss off the farmers. They're dangerous.
I can't. Oh, forget it.
Oh, one more thing. I actually got the video for.
I think that's one of my favorite episodes because I believe it's like a Bossing Say episode. I can't remember exactly which episode.
This idea when I went to the Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. with
Ethan,
cool. Mr. Habitual Line Crosser.
Yeah,
here on
Ethan.
YouTube.
That's his name.
They had one of these inflatable tanks there in an exhibit.
Wow.
We can actually have an exclusive show over on Pepperbox called Habitually Fat, where that's all we do is go to different museums all across the country and get guided tours. And that's just one of my exclusive shows there. I also have a show with PewView where me and him shoot a bunch of guns.
The Duck and the Coon.
That we're not normally allowed to shoot on YouTube. I have a talk show with Angry Cops, Eli Double Tap, and Habitual Line Crosser called Kinda Consensual. You can even see all of us try to box each other on there. And the best part about it is I'm part owner of the entire streaming service, me and a bunch of other YouTubers, so there's no censorship, there's no ads, there's just one monthly subscription fee, and you can get a 2-week free trial if you wanted to go check it out.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the end of the video, and thank you all for joining me today, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.